Hello there, and welcome back once again to the fields of Scourge of War, Waterloo with me, PPG Chu. So, today we're taking a look at another X-large type of scenario. We're playing as a army corps today at 9:30 p.m. If this sounds fairly familiar, it's because last time, or not last time, but the time before that, we took a look at the Allied Center, which so happens to be the opposite of this scenario. But in that one, you only play as a brigade, not the full corps here. So this will be interesting. We command almost a force of 29 or 21,000 troops, and as you may have noticed, the HUD is different this time, and this is because the game comes with a few modifications, including this one. It expands the user interface in a way that I really like, and I haven't tested this in depth, but I think it solves a few concerns for the game that I have. So anyhow, let's begin and let's take a look at what we're supposed to do inside the scenario. So, we are supposed to secure the center buildings over here. This is one victory point. Much like the Sunken Lane scenario, we're supposed to secure something right over here, and one over here as well, controlled by the kind of the hills up here. So, quite an interesting scenario. The nice thing about this new HUD layout is that you'll see that there's a lot more buttons. The reason being is that this gives you some more information and a lot more, control over what your units are doing. So firstly, we will unlimber the guns. I want all of my cannons to be ready to fire. So some of the things it does is that it allows us to target one specific unit with these guns for one. It shows our ammunition right here. And as you may have noticed inside the previous episodes, there are these little modifiers telling you what say bonuses you have on your units. But they were kind of mixed in with the buttons. This solves that problem where it's a lot more apparent, which is very nice. I think these guns are behind a ridge, so we'll move them slightly forwards like that. And overall, I mean, this just comes with a few nice improvements like that. You can actually order your troops to charge from this. It enhances some of the capabilities of your forces like that as well, so it's very nice. So with that said, I think we'll just go forwards here and we will get things moving. So let's get some of our units to move forwards here, and one of the things that we can do is we can issue some bulk commands because I want to get my forces moving. So starting off, I want to get we are in control of an absolute ton of infantry here, and with that said, I want to get them to get all of their forces moving in maneuver formation towards the enemy front lines at different kind of paces, really. So that'll get everyone on the map to move or start moving, which would be nice. And one of the things that it does here really nicely is that, for one, it gives you AI profiles. So for example, if you set it to AI control, what you can do is that you can issue different modes. So for example, defend, attack, to your AI subordinates like that. You can also toggle on, toggle off their control, their AI control. And likewise, you have some broad overarching orders for what your infantry and things are doing along the side here, making it just really handy dandy. So in the meantime, while the vast majority of our forces move forwards, and you can also split your forces and just in general do a lot of things here alongs the front, these forces right here, I'm going to get them to move fast, more so because we need to bring I want to capture this fortress, or this settlement, this fortress, if you will, for in the context of this, really real fast. So I'm going to get some more forces to advance and to hopefully sweep up a few units before they get moved out of that field. So this is where the gun battery control comes in handy. So what I can do is that I can grab one of these AI commanders, and typically you want to mass your guns like this. I can get them to target infantry, to target very specific units, and what I can do here is that I can just kind of click there, select one very specific unit for them to target, and that'll get them to bombard that particular one really nicely. So yeah, one of the reasons, so we can kind of concentrate fire here. And with any luck, that'll soak the 3rd, 2nd light battalion here with a lot of A lot of cannon shot. And we can also use canister round on these troops. I don't know if that'll work very well, but there you go. So things are being fired very, very nicely. And another thing that we can tell from this is what exactly our forces are like. So these are seasoned troops, evidently. We can take a look at, you know, how strong they are, just kind of at a glance. Really, really handy. And for now, all I want to do is, while the main forces move towards the enemy lines, I want to get our forces to close in onto KGL. And yeah, overall, really, really nice features here. So my idea being, if we can catch KGL out of their fortifications, we might be able to, well, I wouldn't say that we'd be able to rout one of them completely, but we'd hopefully be able to do some damage. Come on, advance. No, advance 100 yards. Quick. I want to close in on them and get off a nice volley. Run in there. Run. Take full control over here because I think I'd need it. And I really want to push this this one unit right now. Want to try to get into right around 60 yards is what I think is manageable right now. Stop them, get them to fire off their volleys, and then to just kind of back off. So let's see if this would work, shall we? There we go. Our forces are close. Halt. So now we can tell that they're engaged off of the side menu, and we can get them to open up. There we go. And the cannon fire is coming down nicely as well. Alright, so we're managing to cause some losses for them, but the vast majority of them are managing to fleet into the buildings. So, not bad, not great. But as we might expect, a lot of them will go into the buildings. Okay, so we'll try to follow this up as best as we can. Our forces are evidently on all-out attack. And so here, I mean, things go nicely. So now that we've managed to just kind of scrape by them here, let's issue some more orders to get things going. So for one, I can split my battalion into two smaller forces. My reason for this is that now with two of these, we'll be able to better maneuver them. And we'll be able to get them to go up like that. Come on. Or you know what, hold, that's good enough. So yeah, that's one thing I want my forces to be able to put down some more fire onto these people. And over here, that we can put some more fire down onto the fortifications just like that. And in the meantime, our forces over here are starting to make a bit of a play forwards. So now we can just kind of take a look over here and then take control. So currently, let's get these AI profiles into the probe settings. So they're trying to make a few, you know, very minor offensive moves forwards. That is kind of what I'd like to see here. And enemies putting a lot of their formations out into the open, so that's not bad, that's not great. Let's see, let's go to the AI profile here. Let's switch that thing on and let's put that onto an offense. So now that'll kind of take control in that sector as we kind of shift our focus into some of the other ports of the map. So there, yeah, I really, really like these settings. It gives you a lot more control over kind of, you know, what the AI is doing, what you can get it to do. Very, very helpful. Order the battalion to halt over here, seeing as how they are engaged. And now from over here, let's try to get the let's try to develop the field here. So I'll get some of our forces to move up. And well, there you go, the battle continues. Right, so on the side of the front here, I doubt that we'd see any flanking maneuvers, so I think it's safe to maybe pivot some troops around and to bring some fire onto them. So we'll see what happens there. And over here, this is kind of where, or rather, when the game becomes slightly more, say intriguing with all the managing that you'd have to do. So I'm going to call in to force the AI to march forwards here and here, type of deals. And voila, so our forces are engaged all along the front. Okay. Let's get these people to kind of detach. I want to open up the front here. This way I can push forwards a troop of infantry right over here as well. So now the assault has truly begun. Right. So again, taking control of the gun batteries, we've seen that the rifle unit hidden inside this crater or whatever it is very, very deadly. Now that they're standing up, I'm going to direct a gun battery to fire right into their forces. So that I hope will slow them down for some time. Right. So now we can get our forces to move like that. I see that the enemy is holding over here. So let's get our forces deployed and let's get them to make a move towards the enemy's positions. So that'll set up. We'll wait for them to get things fully ready and then make an assault there. In the meantime, this seems to be the heart of the battle. And would you look at that nice little bush barrage. Come on, these people really, really need to hurry up. How are we doing over here? Are we being blocked? No. Okay. Yeah, so the main thing right now is I want to get our forces firing onto our enemy. I know that sounds kind of obvious, but it's harder to do than what it sounds like, unfortunately. I want to really use whatever frontage we have here. I don't want to order in advance right through here. My reason being, if we can push there, we may be able to push in through here. And this seems to be a critical sector, so I'm going to turn off the AI control. So I'm going to grab full control from where turn total control on. And that should open up some options for us, so that should be pretty good. Right, our people are going to be chopping whatever they can really on the sides here. Could try to surround the fortress or the building over here even more, but I think we'll leave that to some of the reserve forces over here. I'm going to get them to do a casual kind of walk up to the front. So yeah, we're bringing in troops. I see a gap inside the Allied lines. Maybe we can exploit this. These people over here, I don't necessarily want them to advance the full 300 meters, but nope. Well, you know what, in that case, just hold where you are. Oh, come on, don't use the roads, just move forwards. There you go. The reason being is I want to direct just as much firepower as I possibly can onto whatever they're bringing here. So there we go. Here, I'll try to zoom down to the battlefield a little bit more. Right now, it's just that needs to be a lot of stuff that needs to happen in the next few minutes. My thoughts now is we have two places where we can kind of exploit what the British forces are doing right over here along the flanks. I'm going to switch it so that some of the troops just kind of lying around will move forwards over there. It's got an advance going over here. That might block our view, but that's fine. But I want our forces to push through right over here and to make a bit of a jab, if you will. And there we go. So all on the line, we're putting down a decent amount of fire. Let's try to move forwards even more. And I see that some of our forces are starting to lose fatigue, so we'll start to rotate them to where we'll start to rotate them out soon enough. Bit of skirmishers, nothing we can't deal with over here. And over here likewise, close in with the enemy. I want to get their guns to pull back, or at least unlimber themselves. That way we can, that way we'll be able to, yeah, or just take them off the field, really. Come on, we have the bodies for this. No shortage of infantry. The thing is that I don't know what would happen if I initiate a charge very, very close to the enemy's lines like this. Unfortunately, with the infantry, you don't get an option to target exactly what you want to charge here. You only have two generic options. You either charge them or you kind of don't. So I'm afraid that that'll go towards the enemy, but I see some of their guns limbering up, so that is very, very good. That takes some of their firepower off of the field, of course. So now, here is where I'm kind of willing to risk a charge, but our forces are low on steam right now. Taking a look at the front, we have one reserve line, so I'm going to move these guys forwards for now. And again, I hope the sound holds because this is... Yeah, my frame rate is like at 10 frames per second here. It's not good by any means. And perfect, we're seeing some forces break off over here. And the reason why I rotated those forces out is because I want to try to pivot some of my men across and into the enemy's sides over here. Yep, and we'll start to rotate forces very, very soon. Here we have some energetic forces. Let's go for a charge. Where are they going to charge? Oh my god. Not at the one that we wanted, unfortunately. Well, at the very worst, at least we can replace them on the front lines here. How are we doing all around? Okay, so things aren't bad, they're not terribly great. We've taken a lot of losses though. But I mean, hey, what are you gonna do? Ooh, melee started. Let's get these people to join into the fray as well. They're still fresh. And right, if we make a break here, we still have reserves that we can send in. All very, very good. There we go. We are seeing the enemy break. We made a opening inside the front lines here. So now, of course, this breakage in the lines, it's not that big of a deal unless we can exploit it. And yikes, we don't have too many say forces still left in this area, but we'll try to muster up some more. We'll try something like that. Get our units to squeeze in there and try to open up fire on the flanks. Commit to another charge while our forces enter the fight here. Alright, so as we've seen, the French forces should be much better at melee than the stuff that they bring forth, especially in the center. The only thing that we have to go up, really the only difficult part is the lines behind them. This is not good. They still have these forces. Didn't take those into account, but that's one of the tricks the British during this period were Wellington really liked. He really liked these reverse hill placements because then, I mean, you can hide all the forces behind the hill, and then once the charge goes through, so you think it went, but in reality it's not that great. Either way, we've made some progress here. We'll get the batteries to reset and to open up over here. Let's go for another round of charges, and I think only one is really needed. Reserve forces will continue to move up as, well, as reserve really, to get the leader to double gallop forwards. Okay, so we've made some concessions to the enemy right over here. Things are starting to go our way. And from the looks of it, the fighting for the building has finished. So let's get our forces to reflect that. I'm going to get the vast majority of them to go forwards. I'll get one small detachment to enter the building. But the vast majority, I think, will try to set up over here along the side and press forwards like that. Right, so we've already seen this battle kind of ebbs and goes as kind of more troops are committed. We'll see, though. I'm not sure what the difficulty is, so this might be a historical scenario in the sense that it might be really, really difficult for us to win. Either way, I mean, so far these battles look pretty good. They, for the sense of scale especially, I mean, you can't really get any better, so I'm fine with whatever happens, really, win or lose. Thanks. We've been engaged in melee quite a few times, and our French troops at times are breaking, but for the most part they've been pretty good at doing what they do. Going up against you know, tried and true British troops, that might be a little bit different. And yikes, 2 units surrendered right over there. It's a good thing we can rush defenders to just kind of ease up on that portion of the front lines, and we're starting to contest the rest. So we'll see. We'll see. The situation here is it's precarious, is how I'd put it. So long as we can kind of force one breakage in some portion of their front lines, and provided that they don't have anything really behind it, I think that would seal the deal for the forces of the British. Right, and okay, so this side, let's try to recommit these troops. 1 battalion over here. One over here just kind of firing away. And we're going really to the sides now. And we'll try to get one more firing away over there. Advance 100 yards, advance 100 yards. You turn and face them. And you advance as well. Okay, so situation, center right over here, it's holding. Low on troops, though, is the big thing. And these forces won't advance to the center lane, unfortunately. There we go. They only have a weak bunch of skirmishers, but now, so long as we can kind of close the noose or open up this this lane even further and press into the back of the cannons there, I think that would really seal the deal for anything. Yeah, these guys can halt, they can turn on their own. Still another combat advance on that side. We're holding a lot of reserves, which can be good, can be bad. Really depends. How are we doing over here? Forces are engaged. Some of them are resting, eh? Ah, that's what I like to see. Making some progress here. Okay, so things seem to be going here. So far not bad, really. Yeah, we're starting to make the push that we really need on this side, which is good. But at the same time, I mean, it could be better, honestly. How are we holding over here? They are still engaged, their spirits are still high. Okay, we're still advancing. Good. I'd be inclined to order a few charges into enemy lines, but I don't know how well we'd do that. Over here, I think I really need to get rid of the green rifles, so we'll make one here, more or less because, I mean, we could attack them at their flanks as well, with energetic, high morale troops. How good are these guys in close order? They're not bad, but they're not great by any means. We'll see whether or not they hold. Yeah, no, the enemy's losses are going up. That's good for. That's really good for us. I think we really needed that. And here, you know what? Let's get them to rotate off the front lines. How are we doing here? We're still holding. Brawl is developing nicely. Advance another 100 yards, see what you can do. Yeah, center right, unfortunately, we seem to be fully committed. This is looking to be more of a British victory here. So long as we can exploit this gap again, get rid of the gun battery, sweep in, I think we'd be really good at that point. How are we doing over here? We still have kind of a reserve going. How are we doing over here? These guys are routed, unfortunately. So Scots making fine work of our forces. You know what? Here, let's take a look at what we have over here. Now we could stick these forces into the fray, into the gap over here to cover for them. I'll move them forwards, but I won't commit them to the fight, just for now. gonna do something slightly risky, but I'm gonna charge this formation right over here. Right, so these forces are pulling back over here. That's fine by me. And we still have some fresh forces, some more rallying behind them. How are we doing over here? Can we make a decisive charge to try to take out Battalion KGL? Seasoned forces. How are we doing on closed weapons? Come on, charge. Yeah, this might have been a bad play, damn. I thought the KGL battalion would have been weaker than that. If a nice charge could have worked over there, that would have been really, really nice. Still holding well, pretty well here. And all along this front, things seem to be stabilizing. They might be manning a bit of a counter attack right there, but that is fine for now. How are we doing? The melee is still... They are still engaged in melee. I'm gonna get these folks to continue charging. I want to see whether or not they can maybe take the guns. And I think this might do it. We made a large enough hole to squeeze some formations through. Still have reserves, though we might not have too many reserves. I'm going to make a video cut right here, and we'll be back with the last few minutes for the battle.